From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Don Mitchell. 2 of 5 runways are still closed at Toronto's main airport following Monday's fiery crash landing of a Delta Airlines plane. Pearson Airport's duty manager says the airport has put a cap on departures throughout the day, and a similar step has been taken to manage arrivals. The airport says even when the wreckage is removed, delays are still likely to persist as it inspects runways to make sure everything is still in working order. The federal government says a planned rail network between Quebec City and Toronto will slash travel times in half and will take several years to design and build. The rail line will span about 1,000 kilometers and reach speeds of up to 300 kilometers per hour. Stops will include Toronto, Peterborough, Ottawa, Montreal, and Trois-Rivières. More Canadians are interested in joining the military since U.S. President Donald Trump took office, but senior military leaders say it's too soon to say if Trump is the reason for the uptick. Commodore Pascal Bellemure says they'll do surveys later and to find out more on why people are applying.
In the last month, we had about 1,000 more applicants than we did in this time last year, but it's not attributable to any specific incident that we can track so far.
The military says its recruitment and retention numbers have stabilized, and it's close to meeting its target of bringing 7,000 troops in this year. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says Ukraine must have a seat at the table in any peace talks as Washington and Moscow discuss ways to end the war. Trudeau says Canada and most of its allies insist Ukraine must be a part of any discussions on ending Russia's war, which started 3 years ago. He says democracy is at risk if more countries are allowed to invade their neighbors.
Ukrainians have been fighting and dying not just to protect their sovereignty, their territorial integrity. They're also fighting to protect the rules-based order that keeps us all safe around the world and has for close to 80 years now.
And there continues to be an exchange of insults between U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy amid ongoing peace efforts with Russia.
President Trump on social media accused Ukrainian President Zelenskyy of being a, quote, dictator without elections, writing that Zelenskyy, quote, better move fast or he's not going to have a country left. Ukraine postponed its 2024 presidential elections because of the war. The president's post about Zelenskyy comes after senior Trump officials met in Saudi Arabia with Russian officials to start talks about ending Russia's war in Ukraine. The president yesterday falsely accused Zelenskyy of starting the war with Russia when it was Russia that invaded Ukraine in February 2022. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Boston Bruins say Team USA defenseman Charlie McAvoy is still in hospital with a significant injury to his right shoulder that has developed an infection. The Bruins made the announcement today after he was scratched from the Four Nations face-off. McAvoy sustained the injury in the Americans' round-robin game against Finland last Thursday in Montreal. Canada and the United States meet in the tournament final tomorrow in Boston. Defending champion Rachel Homan has secured a playoff spot at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts after a 7-5 win over BC's Corinne Brown. Homan's Ottawa-based team improved to 6-0 at the Canadian Women's Curling Championships. Brown is in a tie for second at 4-2 with a pair of Alberta-based rinks skipped by Kayla Skrlik and Selena Sturmey. And Montreal's Felix Auger-Aliassime advanced to the quarterfinals of the Qatar Open tennis tournament when his second-round opponent, Hamed Medjovic, withdrew with a right leg injury. Auger-Aliassime will face world number 6 Daniil Medvedev of Russia tomorrow. From the Canadian Press, I'm Don Mitchell.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.